Okay, so it's Dietitian Jill Place, and I'm really kicking around a lot of ideas about my Why of Weight Less program. And I'm understanding that before you can really get a handle on what you do and how you overeat, what you do with food that doesn't suit you, that doesn't serve you, you really have to go way back to where you started with food. Because at some point, you made a decision to use food in a different way than just nourishment. Now, I know there are many reasons that we eat. We eat not only because our bodies need fuel, but we also eat because it tastes good, and we eat because it's social, and we eat because it's holidays, and we eat a lot for a lot of reasons. But people who have never had an issue with food eat till they're satisfied and stop eating. And for some reason, somewhere, somehow, people who overeat have found another reason to eat besides hunger. They've used food to self-soothe, and there are many other ways to self-soothe. But food becomes a self-soothing mechanism. So the only way that I know to start diffusing that self-soothing mechanism, say that fast 5 times, is to really find out what your story is with food. And it's really important to go way back. There may also be a core image that you have around food that if you could find that, you could actually begin to change it. And it's really interesting. My story is about the fact that I was really sickly as a child. I had tonsillitis, and my mom did not want them to sniff off my tonsils. She really didn't want it, but I kept having huge fevers when I was a kid, and that was what they did those days. Now they try and keep them in as much as possible. So I was running huge fevers, and I guess I lost weight, probably the only time in my life that I actually naturally lost weight. And she was concerned about me. So she used to stuff me because she was afraid I would lose more weight, which probably wasn't a great thing to do to a 2-year-old kid, because it set up a whole pattern of overeating that I'm still working with to this day. So sometimes it's a pattern, and especially when I'm sick, I find myself just eating. I guess because even way back, that's what I did, and I automatically do that. And in order to diffuse that, I really have to understand that, and B, find another behavior. It's an interesting thing that one of my bulimic clients actually remembered a time when she overate on a bunch of berries that they had gone to pick in a field, and then she threw them up all over a white rug. And that image really, I think, eventually brought her to her bulimia. I really, really do. Sometimes we have an image of stuff that changes our life forever. So I encourage you to really start looking at that. And here's what I'd like you to do. So if you have the time, and if you can, I'd like you to find a comfortable place in your house or in your office or wherever you are. Put down everything that you're working on, close your eyes, and take a deep breath all the way down to your toes. And out. And another one. And out. And another one. And out. And then what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to ask yourself, what is the earliest that you remember using food in a way to soothe yourself, or overeating? And just take a moment, breathing normally now, to see that picture in your mind, or remember that time in your mind. Was it a traumatic event where you felt lonely and isolated and upset? Was it a time like mine where you remember being overfed because somebody was worried about you? Was it a time where somebody said, boy, you're fat, or boy, you shouldn't eat that, or don't eat that? And when you see that picture in your mind, I'd like you to experience it sensorially. What you see, but not only what you see, but what you hear, what you touch, what you smell, and what you taste, because maybe you were eating something at the time. Also, can you smell something or hear something that's in that space where you remember experiencing that time when you started to use food in a different way? So take a moment to really take it in. And experience it fully. And when you're ready, I'd like you to take some deep breaths back to your toes. Open your eyes and come back in the room. Now I'd like you to write down anything you saw, experienced, felt, smelled, heard, tasted right now. And if you feel like it, email me at Jill@whynotactnow.com. That's Y with a Y instead of a WHY. YNOTACTNOW.com. Or leave a comment on this blog and tell me about your experience. Thanks so much for sharing this with me.